Today we're talking about getting better at jiu-jitsu. This video is going to be targeted towards people who are just starting off, not sure what to do, kind of what direction to go to. Now, I'm no expert, I'm only a blue belt, but I'm going to talk to you guys about the things that have helped me along the way, kind of the resources that are out there that maybe if you don't know about, or maybe if you do some research, you'll find yourself falling into a whole new freaking world of information and technique. And I kind of want to just talk about my experience as a whole when it comes to learning. So first off, YouTube is a great resource. As you guys can see, you guys are on YouTube right now. You guys type in a couple words, you type in 3 letters, BJJ, you're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. Now, you're able to get a full kind of representation of what jiu-jitsu can be. It could be competition wise, training wise, methodology, philosophy. And me personally, it was kind of overwhelming just because there was so much. And it's like, okay, I want to be a sponge. I want to be a sponge and absorb it all. But after a while, after say 6 months of training, I was like listening to all these podcasts and trying to understand like what certain things mean. But I just didn't understand. I mean, I didn't have any training under my belt, so I'm not going to relate or understand these advanced techniques. So starting from the very beginning is what I would recommend to someone who's thinking about starting. So just like going on YouTube, type in white belt techniques to know, white belt this and that. I did get ahead of myself trying to learn some, like, okay, this is a rubber guard, this is a dog fight, like trying to understand things, different terminologies from different gyms, and I was just confusing myself. So I'm just like, if I were to start over again, I would totally go on YouTube. I would type in a lot of stuff. There's great advice when it comes to having experienced people explain kind of the ins and outs of jiu-jitsu as a whole, understanding what you're going for, what a guard is, what a closed guard is, what half guard is, what reversals are. And then you can go into submissions, because I feel like people who start off, like myself, I was like, okay, submissions, armbar, triangle, all this stuff. But it's more than just submissions. It's about defense. It's about composure. It's about endurance, all that stuff. So some great resources on YouTube would be 1, BJJ Fanatics, 2, HPU Coaching. He has some great resources. Josh Sonder got his brown belt in 23 months. And I would say 3, B Team / Joseph Chen. And BJJ Fanatics, if you guys don't know, is kind of a website where people are able to have instructionals. Say if it's like a passing technique, if you're trying to pass the guard, there's certain ways to pass the guard. And say there's someone who's known for passing the guard a certain way, someone will have a 3-hour, maybe 10-hour instructional on this one technique. So if you're just starting out and you want to put 10 hours into one technique, you could go for it. But maybe there's other things that you want to get down first. And that's where kind of HPU Coaching goes under, just because he has a different kind of training philosophy of when to go into training, what to look for, what to get better at, and maybe having a more structured approach will help you out in your training. But like I said, this is up to you, up to your instructors. This is kind of the stuff that I feel like could help me organize the thing, instead of just going right away and start watching instructionals, start listening to YouTube, and start, not listening to your coaches and listening to the YouTubers. Like it's a weird dynamic that you have to understand. But once you do, you start learning. It's just like it's like everything else, bro. You just do your homework, you go to class, you take a test, competition, you come back, you see your score, and then you just work from there. So last one, one of my favorites is the B Team YouTube channel. They have tons and tons of videos out there of rolling, just high level stuff, no-gi, grappling. I'm sure you guys know what B Team is. So I really appreciated the video footage that's recorded on there, just because it could really show you how intense this stuff can be. And it really just shows like a different entertainment factor when it comes to jiu-jitsu, because you start meeting people, you start understanding the personalities, and you start knowing these competitors in a deeper way, which I think is awesome. And Joseph Chen, also a B Team competitor, and I personally learned a ton from him just from his book recommendations alone. There's tons of videos on YouTube. I'll link them down below of kind of the ones that I enjoy the most. Joseph Chen is 20 years old, I believe, and he's known for being this kind of like jiu-jitsu prodigy, because he's able to understand technique in a very high rapid pace, at a very rapid speed. So he has some great terminology and understanding of jiu-jitsu as a whole. So I recommend you check out his channel as well. And overall, having fun with it, bro. Like, there's so many things that you would want to do. It's like a video game, right? You want to get all the camos, you want to get all the achievements, you want to have all the XP, but you can't get there if you can't pass level 5 or something like that. You have to be able to understand how your body works, where your pros and your cons are, and then working from there. And of course, you know, you want to get to these advanced techniques. You want to see all these different Toriano passes and half guard and rubber guard, and you got all these different types of movements. But understanding the basics would benefit myself instead of just going to these like different types of things. So maybe having a firm grasp of what you're trying to do, maybe have a game plan, write some notes. I feel like that would help out, especially if you guys are interested in starting jiu-jitsu. If you guys just started off, you know, listen to the people who are very successful in the sport. You can't go wrong with that. That's kind of what my goal is with this channel, is kind of just, you know, sharing kind of the things that help me along the way, just in case, you know, someone's in the same position that I'm in, kind of helping you out there in that way. So one last thing is podcasts are huge. Joe Rogan has some great stuff, Lex Friedman has some great stuff, just because there are black belts themselves and they're able to understand jiu-jitsu, and when they interview different people, they're able to ask questions that actually, you know, have you think about what they're trying to say, just because they have a lot of experience in the sport. So listening to podcasts, listening to different competitors, different mindsets, because not everyone's the same. People view competition differently. People view jiu-jitsu differently. There's so many ways to see it, and maybe finding someone who sees it the same way you do would help you understand what to do when training, or kind of see the way of what training does for someone. So podcasts, I listen to kind of the black belt speeches from these people, from Lex Friedman, Joe Rogan, and they're very inspirational, man, just because they're so good at their like career path. They're making robots or being a comedian or UFC commentator. They talk about jiu-jitsu as just as important. Like, it's up there with all their other skills. So definitely something to check out. But I do want to share kind of the things that are out there, just because there's so much information out there, and kind of want to condense it into a way where someone's able to kind of start their path from, you know, maybe watching a B team video, and it leads into instructional, and the instructional you could take it into practice, and then you practice it, you get really good at it, you take it to competition, and then it's like a rinse and repeat cycle. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. There's so much like information out there, like I said, so it's a little difficult. But if you guys have any recommendations when it comes to YouTube or learning techniques, shoot them down below. Thank you guys for watching today's episode. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. We out. Boy.